You ever wake up from a dream and just you're totally baffled, right? Like, what was that? One minute you're flying, the next you're running through what feels like thick mud. It feels like total chaos. But what if I told you that all those weird nightly adventures, they aren't random at all, not even close? Let's get into what's really happening. I mean, think about it for a second. That feeling of flying, the total freedom, right? It's one of the most universal dreams people have. It feels so incredibly real, but at the same time, you know it's impossible. Well, that's the world we're gonna explore, the one your brain creates from scratch, just for you, every single night. And you know what's crazy? We spend a ton of time there. So get this, we dream for about 2 hours every single night. Add that all up, and by the time you're, say, 60 years old, you will have spent 5 full years of your life dreaming. 5 years! No way that much time is just meaningless, right? And that's really the key thing to remember here. We're going to pull back the curtain on this hidden world inside your head, and you'll see that it is so much more than just random noise. Dreams are actually a huge part of how our brains learn, how we create, and even how we heal ourselves. So, okay, let's start unlocking this hidden dream world. First up, we're going inside the dreaming brain. To really understand what's going on, you got to start with the hardware, right? So we're going to take a look inside our brains during that super mysterious sleep phase. And here it is, the main event. REM sleep. That stands for rapid eye movement. It's called that because literally your eyes are darting back and forth under your eyelids almost like you're watching a movie. And I mean, in a way, you are. It's a movie produced, directed by, and starring you. So what's actually happening during this REM stage? Well, it's an incredible production. Your brain is buzzing with activity, almost as active as it is right now while you're awake. Your memory centers, your emotional centers, they're all lit up, firing on all cylinders, basically sorting through your day. But, and this is so important, your body is paralyzed. It's this brilliant built-in safety feature to stop you from actually acting out your dreams. So you don't literally try to fly out of bed. Our whole idea of what dreams even are has changed so much over time. Way back, in ancient times, people thought dreams were messages from the gods, or maybe visions of the future. Then, in the early 1900s, you get Freud, who said they were all about our hidden desires. But today, neuroscience gives us this really cool new idea that dreams are like the brain's personal virtual reality simulator, a place where we can practice for real life. Okay, so now we get how it works. But what can dreams actually do for us? Well, this is where it gets really good. It turns out this whole process can be like a secret superpower. Seriously, some of the biggest breakthroughs in history actually started out as a dream. Just listen to this. Paul McCartney, right? He literally woke up one morning with the entire melody for the song Yesterday, one of the most famous songs of all time, just playing in his head, perfectly complete. He was so sure he must have heard it somewhere else that he'd accidentally stolen it, that he went around for weeks playing it for people, asking, "Have you heard this before?" Nobody had. His own brain composed a masterpiece while he was asleep. How amazing is that? And it's not just art and music. This happens in science, too. The chemist Dmitry Mendeleev, he'd been wrestling for years with how to organize the chemical elements. It was a huge puzzle. And then, one night, the solution just came to him in a dream. He saw all the elements falling into place in a perfect table. He woke up and wrote it all down, and that became the periodic table we all learn in school. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than this. Even our fundamental understanding of the universe has been influenced by dreams. Albert Einstein himself said that a dream he had where he was riding on a beam of light was a key piece of inspiration for his groundbreaking theory of relativity. Okay, so all those stories are about the incredible things our brain does on its own while we sleep. But what if you could step in and take control? What if you could play an active part? Well, that's exactly what lucid dreaming is. It's that amazing moment when you become aware that you're dreaming while you're still in the dream. And suddenly, you can become the director of the whole show. And the cool thing is, this isn't some rare gift. It's actually a skill you can learn, that you can train yourself to do. Two of the most common ways are pretty simple. First, you set an intention. Before you go to sleep, you just tell yourself, "Tonight, I'm going to know that I'm dreaming." And second, you do reality checks during the day. Just get in the habit of asking yourself, "Am I dreaming right now?" And maybe try something like pushing your finger against your other palm. The idea is, if you make it a habit when you're awake, you'll eventually do it in a dream, and that's what can trigger your awareness. Right, but not all dreams are about flying or writing hit songs. Sometimes they're straight up terrifying. So let's talk about nightmares. because it turns out even they have an important job to do. So instead of thinking of nightmares as just a bug in the system, scientists now see them as a feature. They're basically your brain's safe space to work through fear and stress. Think of it like a personal training ground where you get to practice survival strategies without any of the real-world risk.
And because we understand this now, we can actually do something about them. There's this amazing technique called imagery rehearsal therapy. It's used to help people with recurring nightmares, even veterans with PTSD. And the idea is that you literally rewrite the script of your nightmare. While you're awake, you think about the bad dream, but you consciously come up with a different, better, more empowering ending. And by rehearsing that new ending, you can actually change what happens in the dream when you're asleep.
Okay, so we can understand our dreams, we can learn to control them, and we can even rewrite them. So what's next? Well, this is where things start to sound like something straight out of science fiction. We're talking about hacking the dream state itself. Scientists right now are experimenting with all kinds of wild ideas. They're using things like specific sounds or smells to try and guide what people dream about. They're even working on ways to send signals into dreams, to change the story, or get this, communicate with people while they're lucid dreaming. There was one study that just blew my mind. They actually got lucid dreamers to answer simple math problems while they were asleep, just by using their eye movements to signal the answer. I mean, can you imagine solving problems or even learning new things all while you're fast asleep? And really, that's what this all leads to. This hidden world of dreams, it's not just some glitchy side effect of sleep. It is a massive, powerful, and deeply personal part of what makes you, you. So when you go to sleep tonight, think about this. If you had the remote control, if you could program just one dream, what would it be? Would you go on an adventure, have a conversation with someone you miss? Would you try to solve a problem that's been bugging you? The possibilities really are just as endless as your own mind.